talk about forensic entomology. So forensic entomology is a specific field of study that involves using insects mainly, but also occasionally other invertebrates to determine some information about a dead body. Largely, but not always, this is used in terms of crime scene and is most often used to find information such as time of death and location of death if people think that the individual has died separately from the area that they were found in. Now, there are many different insects and many different methods applied in forensic entomology to find out this information. One of them is kind of the pattern of insect emergence on a dead body. Now, this is a known thing. People and scientists know pretty much the exact order at which insects appear on a corpse due to a large amount of study. Usually it starts out with flies, such as blowflies, which are some of the most important insects used in forensic entomology, as well as things like cheese flies and flesh flies. Then later on, when the body is more decomposed, then comes things like beetles, such as rove beetles, burying beetles, as well as things like scarab beetles and other things, as well as some more predatory insects such as parasitoid wasps that don't feed on the dead body itself, but on the insects that are feeding on the dead body. They're secondarily attracted because it's a very easy source of their specific prey. So by using which insects are present at the body at the time of discovery, as well as the other stages of decomposition, you can figure out approximately how long this person has been dead and in this area. If there are things like blowflies, it's probably relatively recent, and if that corresponds with the rest of the stages of decomposition, you can determine that is a pretty recent death. However, if there's things from later stages, such as beetles or parasitoids present, then it might have been there for a little bit longer. Now, the life cycle and the stages of these insects are also incredibly important, specifically of the blowfly. These are some of the most important and most commonly used insects in forensic entomology, and they can tell a lot about the body itself. The life cycle is well known exactly how long it takes to progress from one stage to the next. For example, you can see here, from an egg to the first instar or development stage of the blowfly larva, it takes just under 24 hours, so just under a full day. Then the next stage takes just over a full day, then just under a full day, and then to get to the last one, it takes quite a bit longer. And then to get to a full adult, it does take longer as well, but by seeing what stage it's at, like if there are only eggs, that means it's an incredibly recent death. If there are the first instar larva only without any other instars present, then the person has been there dead for about a day. This gives a very accurate biological clock as to how recent this death is. Now, this is also usable with other types of insects as well, but since blowflies have been so well studied, then it is kind of the easiest to use them. They also have a rather quick life cycle as well, and it is very accurate, but other larvae and other insects can also be used for this as well. Now, the life cycle of these insects are also impacted by things in the environment, such as temperature and humidity. And so by studying the development of these insects, as well as which insects are there, because not all insects are found in all biomes and all environments. So the presence of certain insects at certain stages at certain times can help determine what kind of environment that this body was in for the most amount of time, if in case it has been moved around or disturbed. And by collecting and identifying certain insects, you can find certain subspecies that are only found in specific areas, so it can also help narrow down geographic location as well as time of death. Now, this is a very brief overview of the massive field of forensic entomology. There is no time at all to be able to go into all of these specifics. However, it is a fascinating and very helpful field in many regards.